Good morning, my name's Paul with Golden Blaze Videos. It's April the 25th and I'm back in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Starting out with a little bit of cloud coverage and some drizzle, but it's supposed to blow out of here and be some bright sunny days ahead. And I'm putting together a big loop with the Cataloochee Ridge and the Cataloochee Valley. Some trails I've done before and some new trails. So come on, let's go and hike. This is going to be a great trip. Well, we've made it to the Ferguson Cabin. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen me post photos and videos of this cabin before. It is the highest cabin in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's a real beauty. I always like it on social media when people say, hey, would you like to live in this cabin? You know, I think that'd be fun for about a week. But you know, no electricity, no plumbing. Having to cut firewood, little one-room cabin. I think it would get old pretty quick. All right, now we're headed up a little climb to the Cataloochee Divide Ridge Trail. Up in the clouds again. Part of the swag property, a little gazebo here. Normally there's a killer view, but don't worry, we'll be back this way tomorrow and I'll show it to you then. Stay tuned. All right, we have made it to Hemphill Bald Trail, and the bald's up there behind me in the clouds. We will see that tomorrow. It's gonna be awesome. And the Hemphill Bald Trail heads down into the Cataloochee Valley where we're headed next. Well, this is starting to look like the Big East Fork Trail all over again. We had a lot of rain yesterday. Made it to the end of Hemphill Bald Trail. We're now on the Caldwell Fork Trail. 6 miles in, we climbed 1,200 feet and dumped 2,800 feet. But don't worry, we'll make all that up tomorrow. We have made it to the Boogerman Trail, which I was wanting to take. And there was a sign back just a few steps away, said bridge out. And yeah, the sign was right, bridge is out. Looks deep. That's some cold water. This is the Boogerman Trail. When I saw this on the map, I wanted to take you guys up this trail with me. There's some virgin, never cut timber back in here. This trail was named after Robert Palmer, and in grade school the teacher asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up, and he said the Boogerman, and that nickname stuck with him his whole life. But anyways, this was his property, and trail's named after him. Some big trees up ahead, so let's go check them out. Big old tree. Good view of Mount Sterling through the trees. It's up there about a month ago in the clouds. Hey, we made it back to the Caldwell Fork Trail, and there's a trail advisory, unbridged water crossings. Now that's primarily on the Caldwell Fork. I did have that one wet trail crossing. Yeah, and that's strange too, because I did the Caldwell Fork Boogerman Trail loop probably 20 years ago, and I don't remember any wet creek crossings, so. Nice bridge here. Oh, we made it to Cataloochee Road, a campground not too far from here. And back in the day, spent many time at the campground with Vanessa and Sarah and Joyce. I used to come out here for my birthday every October. And now we're going to head into the main Cataloochee Valley. We made it to the Palmer Chapel. There's a Methodist church. What a pretty old church. So I've been following this trail right next to the river, and the only thing it's called is a horse trail. Anyways, I think this was the original road that went into Cataloochee. It's right by the river, and went right in front of the front door of that church. So across the creek is the old schoolhouse. Looks like there's a lot of people over there, so I'm not going to go. Been in there before. But I do wonder if that's where Robert Palmer claimed he wanted to be the Boogerman. Oh boy. Well, we've made it to campsite 39, which is pretty hollow. And right at, what is it? Almost 17 miles, 6 hours of actual hiking time. Not too bad, pretty tired. And let's find a camp spot. Got camp all set up. This is Gossamer Gear, the one tent, single person tent. G420 pack, not a whole lot of room inside the tent, so hangs off the strap from the trekking pole, which acts as the support for the roof. And lighting equipment quilt on top of my X-Therm Neo Air sleeping pad. So it's been a good setup for me so far. Like that it's really light, and it's really all I need. Here's the running water. Good morning. It's a little bit before 7. Had a great night at the Pretty Hollow campground. Listening to the birds chirp and that creek roar in the background. Great night's sleep. Beautiful morning in the Cataloochee Valley. Caldwell house, and Joyce was telling me if you go in by yourself you can hear a ghost because it's haunted. Let's hope not, but let's see. It's a big house. I did pass going upstairs. Call me chicken. Well, that's the end of the road walk in Cataloochee Valley. Didn't see any elk, but that's okay. It's beautiful anyways. And getting ready to head up the trail. Check in later. Woody house. I didn't even know this was back here. Nice big house for that time period. And no, that's not a fancy outhouse, that's a spring house. There's a spring right there, and they would store their food in it to keep it cool. Butter, milk, items that might spoil. That's one giant refrigerator. No midnight snacks. There's a nice view of the Cataloochee Ridge. I believe that's Purchase Knob. Well, made it to the Caldwell Fork trailhead, and it's a splitting point here. If I went on down Caldwell Fork, I could shave off about 4 miles, but I think I'll stick to the original plan and push on to Poles Gap. It's about 9:45. We're about 6 miles in, and we have climbed way up out of the Cataloochee Valley. Got some nice long-range views. There is not much water after that woody house, so I would suggest filling up before we make the big climb. And I did find this little trickle here, so it's better than nothing. I've made it to Poles Gap. This is about the halfway point for the day. 9 miles in, 9 miles more to go. That was a big climb out of the Cataloochee Valley. Got some rollers coming up on the Cataloochee Divide. Anyways, there's the Rough Fork Trail that I came up, and it's time for an early lunch. It's right at 11 o'clock, and I'm hungry. Mount Sterling again, and the Cataloochee Valley down below. We're about 11 miles in, 2,700 feet elevation gain. We came a long ways today, and still got a ways to go. Yeah, there's our first view of Hemphill Bald, at least on this side. You can see the bald to the right. Well, made one of my favorite places, Hemphill Bald. I've hiked, ran here many times, but it's just a crazy view right at 5,345 feet. This has been a long loop. I think I've got 4 more miles, which means I've got 31 under my belt, but this is the highest point on the trail, and what a beautiful day. Crazy views up here on Hemphill Bald. Looking down into the Jonathan Creek Valley, over towards Canton. Mount Pisgah coming into view. It's the Cataloochee Ski Resort in the foreground. Cold Mountain right in the middle. Shining Rock Wilderness Ridge. Lickstone Ridge. And then over into the Plot Balsam Ridge. It's Plot Balsam first, Mount Lynn Laurie with the cross. And then over towards Browning Knob and Water Rock Knob. Spectacular. Back to the gazebo, and surprisingly no one's here, but as you can see, we got a much prettier day than yesterday. A little place here called Rogers Hideaway. Looks like a pirate's plank going up to a crow's nest. Another beautiful view. Very similar to the one at Hemphill Bald. Truck's down there in that valley somewhere, and there's Purchase Knob. That'll be our next stop. One last view. This is up on the Purchase Knob property. That is Purchase Knob in the foreground. Well, that pretty much wraps up this loop. It's about a mile back to the car, mostly a road walk. Appreciate everybody watching. Hopefully you'll subscribe and hit the like button. Leave your comments and check out the next hike, hopefully coming up soon. Thanks again for watching. Hey, the video's over. I'm headed home. You need a ride? Yeah, I'll give you a ride. Throw your stuff in. Come on, let's go.